Woohoo! I'm back for part 2 because we had a late start. Back on part 2 of Mama's Baby Daddy's Maybe. Right here on Intellectual Radio. My goodness. So, because y'all gonna have to go back and rewatch this live, sis got things to do. I was compelled to come back on here because at first I was just gonna let the video do what it do, and I'm like, I'm not gonna add nothing to what was said. It's kind of been like a rocky little start today, but I feel like just from my heart, I even just with some other brothers coming in to do their show, and they asked me what was my show about today, and I started talking to them, and they said, we need you to put that in writing. It's amazing to me that there's a whole nother world outside of our normal and the things that we've been taught. And we have not took the time to comb through some of the stuff to figure out what's working and what is just not working. Okay? So I just wanted to real quick, because I know people not on, and that's okay. I want to get this out. And raised by Maya, by the way. I want to get this out because it's important. As we embark upon a new season and we're seeing things changing, you know, the stuff can't stay the same, guys. It can't stay the same. I shared earlier in the part 1, you can go back and watch it if that's what you choose to do. So I shared earlier about Mama's Baby Daddy's Maybe, centered around the truth that the government give us a sense of false empowerment to make us believe that it's just our baby, and it's not just our baby. And so I gave an example out of the story in what's it, 1 Kings 3rd chapter 16. We was talking about the 2 prostitutes that had a baby. One died, one lived, and the mother tried to switch it out and say the live baby was her and the deceased baby was the other woman's. I want us to, and I'm just going to be transparent and honest about my own journey, because I see that it's impactful when we have overcome something and we share something. I, being a quote-unquote baby mama, ex-wife, divorcee, whatever you want to call it, family is critical. It's very important. The way we bring our children up is very important. The things that we teach them, the things that they sit up and see. What I did not mention in the first live is something, I don't know how I missed it, is that we talk a lot about daddy hurt when it comes to girls. And we say she got daddy issues. Well, I find and have found lately that men, a lot of them have mama issues. Yeah. And because they're not verbal about a lot of things they go through, because they learn to suppress it, they learn not to, you know, wear their feelings on their sleeve, and they do not have a lot of spaces where they can be vulnerable and cry and all that. Well, anytime I have some type of encounters with a guy, you know, it's an honor, you know, but I would like to bring to light that some of our men are dealing with mama issues. They're dealing with mama issues, and they're dealing with heartbreak from mama. And mama was the first failed example of a woman, and so they got it in their minds, just like we do when daddy don't treat us right, or we think we kind of throw our view off of how men are because of how daddy was. It's the same way with men. It's the same way with men. When men have saw you not have integrity, when they just saw you be a cheater, when they just saw you lie, when they just saw you do all manner of things with no accountability to hurt them. Hi, Minister Tony. when mothers break a son's heart, it has an impact on the relationship, just like daddy issues. Just like daddy issues. And that's why I did not get a chance to totally unpack mama's baby, daddy's baby. But mama's baby, that's your baby. By yourself. We do not like to take accountability for the things that we do as women. We do not like to take accountability for being the piece that drives that man and that child, a wedge between a man and his child. We do not like to take accountability for the pain that we have inflicted upon our children when it comes to their father. When it comes to decisions that we made out of our own trauma and it negatively influenced them and impacted their lives. And then when they become adults and they want to have a conversation, it's a fight. Because it takes a level of humility to own your wrong as a woman. But it also validates the pain in your children, whoever else you hurt. Yes, we all been different versions of ourselves. You know, I'm glad a lot of y'all didn't meet me when I was out there. Okay? Because it wouldn't, some of y'all well overdue. Okay? To be checked. But we as women have allowed the government to give us false empowerment over our men and to belittle them and act like we really pulling this train by ourselves, by force, when a lot of times it's us. Most of the men that I've talked to, and I'm just going to flow, I don't care about the title of it. Most of the men I talk to, and I'm talking about in every social arena of my life, one thing they all have in common, and including myself, me, I divorced my husband that I shouldn't have never married in the first place. But in the end, one thing about us women, we're going to find us somebody to coddle us, starting with the government. They're going to coddle us. Our social group's going to coddle us. They're going to tell us, girls, okay, you right. That's your baby. Them your kids. That's what they tell us. Them your kids. So while we looking at the statistic talking about a fatherless home, yeah, that might be true. But why is it fatherless? It ain't always. See, I knew that the negative connotation behind mama's baby, daddy's maybe was going to automatically be attached to these kids. This man ran off and left his kids. I knew it was going to be attached to this man, you know, he don't want to claim his kids. He don't want to do right. But don't y'all know I found out that's not even true most of the time. The stuff I sit up and look at that we tolerate in each other with women in women groups, we tolerate these behaviors. We tolerate this dishonesty. We tolerate it amongst each other. That's why we're not growing. That's why we're not growing. Right? So, if we're serious, yes, accepting your choices. If we're serious, minister, about saying we want our men in a place, we want y'all to take the lead. We tired of doing it by ourselves, but it's only one problem. We not getting ready to rule them. And what that does, what I find as a single mother, and I'm keeping it a buck, the masculine it takes, the amount of strength it takes to head up a ship, a household, the amount of strength that it takes and how much it takes away from your feminine to walk in a full-blown leadership head of the household role, you become hardened. You become tough. And you become a challenge to a man. And now we want to, like I said before, as a lioness, baby, I'm not his competition. I'm not his competition. I'm his complement. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But instead, we create the competition and we let certain circles around us create one. So I'm telling the ladies, listen, if you serious about what you say you want, This is what my kid's father have told me. And let me just tell this right quick before I get off here, because I'm not going to hold y'all, or I'm not going to be on here long. We've been divorced for a long time. That is why we tired, minister. We tired because we never meant to shoulder those type of burdens. And with you when you right. Was never meant to. So, and you know what else, minister? When I find myself in the company of masculine men, there's a certain amount of peace and rest that automatically comes over me, because I know everything will be all right. I know whatever it is, they're going to handle it. And so I'm not one that's running from the company of a man because I'm so scared that I'm going to do something wrong. That's not me. Because you got to be in control of you. Do you know the benefit of having male company where everybody is in their lane and nobody has a ill will? At least you don't. As a woman, you don't know what. Amen. I am. You don't know what is coming your way as a woman. It do not serve you well to position yourself around women who ain't gonna do nothing but lie to you, because that's what we do. We sit up and tell our lies and say, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. Girl, that's him. That ninja this, that ninja that. That's what we do. We sit up and tell women they don't have to care about themselves. You don't have to take your time and see about yourself the right way and groom yourself the right way and care about you sitting up there eating super doubles and triples. Yeah, you don't have to care about that, because if he a real man of God, he going to accept you for who you are and the way you are. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And don't you let nobody tell you that. And no, it's not about going out to do things to try to earn a guy in your life. But I get so tired of delusional women. I cannot do it. I literally just cannot do it. So being a lioness, I draw kings to me. I don't have to do nothing but show up. And they just, it's an attraction. And I'm not talking about no lust. And they begin vulnerable and they start talking, and what they all have in common. Why women don't like accountability? Why you can't just admit you was wrong? Why you can't just say, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done that? So back to my own little transparent story about my kid's father. I had that mentality too. My kids, my kids, my kids, my kids. Until I started realizing that mentality was damaging to my kids. Because there's times when they want that other parent. They want their other parent. And when you standing in the way of that in the name of your pride, in the name of the fact that he won't let you manipulate him out of money, he won't let you manipulate him and use him for your own self-gratification, and then dispose of him when you feel like it, because he called you out of your mess, the immediate thing we do, we hit them where it hurt, and that's to weaponize their relationship with that kid. Because at that point, don't let them be moved on. Don't let them be moved on. You really finna find a way. I'm going to hurt them down. I ain't going to let them go over there for Christmas. I'm going to send them to my mama's house. And then you got your mama. That's what's wrong with us. We go right to the women who going to continue to feed our foolishness. We go right to them. We know where to go. My phone don't ring like that no more. And I'm cool with it. Because I don't want to hear that. They matter. It ain't just your baby. It's his baby too. So when I start to listen, to my kid's father, when I start to hear how bad his heart was hurting because he wasn't in the right relationship with them, he said something to me that I can't let this go. And he said it to me. He said, Vanessa, you're the glue. You're the glue. And I want to say to women, baby mama, whatever you are the glue. You standing between that child and that daddy, mama. I hope y'all had a good Mother's Day. You standing between it and what you say and how you move will manipulate that child emotions towards that man. And we know what we be doing too. We know it. We overshare with them things that's not their business. Why you got to sit up and tell your child how bad their father hurt you? So you know what that's going to do. You know exactly what that's going to do when you sit up and crying and talking about your daddy hurt me. You know exactly what you're doing. Because immediately the first thing you want to do is defend mama. I want to defend my mama. What you do to my mama? And now he got to try to explain to a child what happened between two adults. You ain't mature enough to know no way. This is why I don't get in my mother as a grown married woman in other people's affairs. I don't do that. You got this child emotion stirred. They want to love dad so bad. But maybe they can't love dad the way they want to love dad. Because my emotions been manipulated by my mother, who is deceitful and manipulative, to believe that my dad is a bad person because of their grown-up issues. My dad a bad person. One thing my kids know, I'm honest with them, and they honest with me and transparent with me. And when I heard my kid's father crying out like, you the glue. In other words, you can help this situation. Because I was in the side of, you know what? He just need to figure it out. You know, I have to figure it out. He's a parent. You know, when he going to grow up and he need to do this and he need to do that. But no, what was he saying to me as a mother? You can advocate this situation to make it better. Yes, you can, mama. You could be the reason why that child ain't crying themselves to sleep at night thinking their daddy don't love them because of how you feel about them. You can make a difference by bringing respect to that man. Basic. Because he's not required to be your lifetime booty call because y'all got a baby or bank. You're not required to be suckered out of child support. And you go and do what you want to do with it and then come back and say all these mean things. And then play innocent and dumb, stupid like you didn't do nothing. Come on, women. Yes, minister. Come on, women. Come on, women. Come on with my baby. That's my kids, my son. What you gonna do with the son? You know I had to humble myself. When I realized when my son turned 14 finna go to high school, he need his father. I don't care. I sat in the midst and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed until God turned that thing around after he told me that I'm the glue. You the glue, Vanessa. Don't sit back and know my kids not speaking to me and go to bed at night, mama. What kind of accountability they looking for? You know, mama, you know my child don't feel right about me and you can change that and you won't do it, mama. Because it works for you. It works for your benefit for this child not to like me. It works for your benefit. It's something that you gratify because you get Mother's Day gifts and the dad don't get nothing. I told my kids, I said, y'all better be a blessing to that man for Father's Day because he be coming through for his. You hear me? My kid's father come through for us. Because when he helped them, he helped me. And we like to say, well, he's supposed to do that. I do this and this and that. He's supposed to do that. It ain't nothing wrong with making him feel appreciated. It ain't about him supposed to do that. It's the hell they go through to do what they got to do for theirs. It's the hell they go through every day just being a black man. It's the hell they go through every day because who on their side? We pick and choose. I said to a group of my brothers, I said, the reason why they don't trust us is because they know what we're capable of. The Bible says that a wise woman build her house and a fool pluck it down with her hands. We on the foolish side plucking down the house instead of building. See, when my kid's father told me, you the glue, and I sat there and processed that, thank you, minister, for being here, means the world. that I got a man here to say amen. When I tell you that we are eating the fruit of our own deceit as women, and it don't feel good, do it. Do it. You played your little game and played yourself. And that's what we do. We play ourselves. Because them kids gonna get older and be able to call out your wrong and tell you, Mama, that ain't right. I remember one time I made a joke, I made a crack about to Mikey about his senior. And he told me, Mama, don't say that about my daddy. I don't like when you say that. And we got to know when to pull this. I'm your mama. How you going to tell? I'm your mama. Where you at? This and that. I'm your mama. Now it's a competition. No, it's not. No, it is not. He's just as much as their parent as I am. And when I tell you, I advocated for those relationships. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Him and his daughter weren't on good terms, and he cried and cried to me every day. I just want to hear my daughter's voice. I just want to, he was sorry and he wanted to be forgiven. Why do we treat men like the things they do is unforgivable? But we want to be forgiven for everything we do. Why do we, why is the punishment? Because I always say it's a difference between discipline and punishment. And people don't know the difference. Why? Why is the punishment so grand when they do something wrong versus when we do it? Why is the things they do so unforgivable? But we don't believe our mess thing. Why? So when I say unto you, women, yes, you can advocate for those relationships. You should never make a kid choose between you and a parent. And lo and behold, some women have the audacity to know that a man have children with another in another relationship and forbid this man from being a father to those kids, because you should be a father right here with mine. And you'll sit here and make him feel like in order to satisfy your own wickedness, he have to show favoritism that your kids mean the most, because you don't have the capacity to love past your own selfishness. So you'd rather see this man hurt and cry. You'd rather see him with his head hanging low, then bash him and say, what you looking like that for? You don't like it that you feel like your little nest not enough. One thing I'm going to tell you about my kid's father, I don't care how we fell out, he ain't going. Ain't no telling this man you ain't going to see his kid. He ain't finna see his kid. Or you can't see. What? Beautiful story just recently happened. One of his kids that was adopted found him. And I told this on one of my shows. I'm going to say it again. The boy found us. Found out he had a brother. Found out he had a sister. Found out he had his dad. And how God just allowed me to be in the midst of that adopted family, that father in particular, brother, and advocate for his character that had been assassinated, and he was wrongfully accused of some things. Now, we had the best relationship, but I didn't have a reason other than the fact that I knew I was the glue, and I knew the opportunity had presented itself for me to help him. And I chose to do just that. And the end result is what? He is a happy, I ain't seen my kid's father this happy in so long, because I chose to say, this is not just my baby. He's so happy right now because he's in good standing with all his kids, and everybody just so men and women we do. We hold so much power. We hold so much weight with our words. We hold so much influence over our kids. And the way we move make all the difference in the world. So I say unto you, if you're one of those people that's walking around talking about, this is my baby, what is that baby thinking? That baby is thinking, I don't want to just be your baby. I'm my daddy's baby too. And I want y'all to get along. And I want y'all to collab. And I want him to have the access to me that he desires without you getting in the way and interfering because you got unresolved things wrong. So why is it that that's not what they see? We look at them and say, we see he ain't no good. He broke. We like saying that he broke. He broke. He paid child support? Yeah. He got a place to live? Yeah. He have a car? Yeah. He got bills. You know what I'm starting to see less and less of? I'm starting to see less and less women who know what it means to build, who know what it means to help and support. Somebody say, well, he should come to the table already together. He should come to the table already ready for me. He should come to the table already ready to provide, already ready to do this. He should have the table set for me already. And guess what's going to happen if you do? You do understand that while you asking for this man to come already fully equipped to be all of this to you, what you think finna happen, ma'am? Do you think you're finna be talking to that man crazy upside his head like some of us like to do? Do you think you're finna be rolling your eyes on your neck? He gonna be quick to let you know I got this table by myself. Exactly. Minister, he more broken. He more broken than broke. When I sat there amongst a group of men recently, Minister Tony, this blew my mind. And I just shared this on the other part one, but I'm going to share it again. Then where's your part in helping? Exactly. Because you know what I found out, Minister? I said, wow. I don't group up with a bunch of women to have these conversations because what can you tell me? You're not a man. And we do ourselves a disservice when we sit around bitter women and women that got married 50 years ago and think you finna tell me what's happening today. It's not that I'm not listening because we need their wisdom. But where is it coming from? Because most of the time we'll preach to women about what they want in a man that's fully mature. But men won't talk about who they was at 25. You telling me to tell a man, you telling me to tell a brother, you should do da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but what was you at 25 though? Was you that man at 25? That you telling me to tell? You talking to these men that want to be married, that want families? Or these men, these women that are expecting and waiting on spouses? You're counseling them according to the level that you'd have matured to over the years. But who was you at 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20 to 25 years old? If you was married that young, even 30, even almost 30. And we create a fantasy in our head. I heard a man tell me recently, he said women create a fantasy in their mind about us and then they want us to live in it. They want us to be what's in their head. They don't live in the real world. I'll be blown away at how much I agree with them just from being around women. And it's not a bash on women. I love women. I ain't going to say I trust them too much. But I love them, and I'm a woman. So, you know, I get it. It's some stuff I get. But they deceitful. We could be deceitful as women sometimes. And I'm not going to ever take my eyes off of that. I know how we roll because I've been different versions of myself. So I know when I'm looking at a deceitful woman. I know when I see you. So you can't come to me and give me a long list of complaints about a man and don't talk about yourself. Because right there, that's a red flag. Why you ain't took ownership over nothing. And one thing I hate the most is what is a turn off. We ain't finna sit here and quote scriptures all day long. and speak in tongues to talk about the spirit world, because for some of us, that's an escape from our reality. Yeah, you like to get deep because you don't want to look in the mirror and deal with sis. And I'm not the one going to sit up and patty cake you and just keep going that way. And every time I touch something else, you ducking and hiding from that. No, let's talk about it. In the same way with ministering to women, you have to bring a woman in because they don't want to hear nothing from a man. You ain't never lied, baby. Baby. Listen here, minister. I know you telling the truth. I know you telling the truth. I don't get no, I have never seen some of the stuff I'm looking at. And baby, when I walked away and came back with fresh eyes, woo, somebody help me. You ever did that, minister? Baby, stay gone for a while and walk back with them fresh eyes and have a fresh look at everything. And you know what? Sometimes it could be, oh, I was wrong about that. And sometimes it could be, oh my God, I can't believe I used to think like that. I can't believe I used to be this way. I can't believe I lived in this type of mindset. I can't believe that. But once you grow and you evolve, you tend to want to draw after that. When I can listen to my brothers say, all of them lying? My spiritual father used to say 10,000 tongues ain't lying on you. All of the brothers lying about us and I want to be accountable. All of them, all age groups, all generations, they all say the same thing and they all lying, saying we don't like accountability. No, because we let the society tell us that a man should be a provider and a protector, and that's the only thing he's allowed to be. You bet not act like you want to tell me nothing and lead me. You had to bring your grandma in. You better not act like you want to tell me what to do. I'm grown. I'm a grown woman. What I look like. And then I be getting to read some of these little girls in the comments that be talking. I be like, baby, go wipe go somewhere. You have zero, baby, your words don't hold no weight. I can listen to you and tell that you got some growing to do. When we could cry out and say, because are we the real that we say we want? I want a real man. He need to be a dad. He need to step up and do this. What kind of mama are you? What kind of girlfriend are you? What kind of fiance are you? The last thing we need is crippling. We don't need name of the crush. They said man sees so awesome. She was saying the same thing I was saying. Oh, yeah. So when I get to talking about this kind of stuff, oh, baby, I'm not here to try to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad. We live in our feelings too much. Feelings are visitors. That's why the song says a thin line between love and hate. Yeah, you're going to love me and hate me in an hour. You ain't going to like me tomorrow. I promise you. But today you might love me. But tomorrow you can't stand me. And that's okay. I learned not to live in my feelings. So yes, I purposely put myself in a position to advocate, to make sure, why my daddy gone. I want to make sure my kids have a good relationship with their father. And it is not based upon whether or not we getting along, how much I like him or dislike. Got nothing to do with the cost of tea in China. We like to say things that we don't want to be. We like to have a false expectation. We like false empowerments. We like for the internet to tell us we're amazing and wonderful while home is telling us we're a lie. Your home and the fruit of your relationship is going to tell the truth about who you really are as a woman. As a mother, my baby. It's your baby. It's my baby. Bruised and broken, but they're yours. When we going to start really advocating for our men? I'll be enjoying these conversations with these brothers, and I can't wait till next month, baby. I cannot wait. I enjoy listening to them tell the truth about us. I'll be like, you're right. And they be shocked, like, oh. You know, some women give me that look like she's a pick-me. She just want somebody to, baby, do you know? You have no idea the stuff Sister V could be getting into. I ain't thirsty and I don't have to be. All I got to do is be, baby. All I have to do is be. That's it. But we cannot keep wanting to see something built we ain't willing to build. Starting in your house. Why you gonna sit there and watch that man walk around burdened because his relationship not right with his kids, and you know, as long as you hurt, we all gonna hurt. They said me and Caesar. Yeah, as long as I hurt, everybody gonna hurt. That's selfish. That's selfish. So yeah, even the men, they gotta hide in the cut. I don't want them to say, I don't want her to see me saying amen, because shoot, she gonna get on my case. That's okay, y'all. That's why I'm the lioness, baby, in the pride. She's bold and aggressive when she have to be. Now, I don't hidden have my hand. I don't do that kind of stuff. No. See, that's why I know when to have against and when not. Because I would never put somebody in the fire for something that I want to say. I'm going to say what I need to say, and I'm going to take the hits. By myself. I ain't going to happy hand nobody. God would allow you to see the mess you raised, and not if your daddy spent time with you. Yeah. Let's go on and be real. Some of us that found out we had other siblings by other women had to grow up and mature and find those siblings and have a relationship, because for whatever the reason, the women, whatever the situation was, they couldn't get together and make that happen. They couldn't get together in men. They couldn't get together and blend. Because women, we dwell better when we want to compete. You know, we want to compete. We feel like it's taking something away from us. And it's not. Because where's you as a woman, and I've been her. I've been on that side. These my kids, and it wasn't working for me. It's peace in the camp now because everybody grown. We all adults. We all are adults. So I'll say this, mama's baby. Make your baby buy their daddy something for Father's Day. Make your babies see about them. And have a talk with the father. Talk to him like he a man and not your son. Talk to him with respect. That's something that we're void of now. We don't respect men. Talk to them with some sense. And they'll talk back, because they say, men don't talk. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do talk. But if they don't feel safe, they ain't going to say nothing to you. If they don't feel like you mean them well, they're not going to say nothing to you. I know what I'm talking about. You know, and you know, we don't want that accountability as women. We don't want it. We don't want to be held accountable for the things that we do, for the bruises that we cause. Could it be God trying to bring us to our knees? The first thing he's going to do is put that mirror in your face and tell you, you need to stop talking to that man like that. He's going to tell you, you need to respect this man in front of his child and teach him respect. He might not be whatever his shortcomings is. Why we got to pull, why we have to strip the man down naked in front of his kids and tell the kids all that man flaws, even stuff they don't even know. Stuff happened 10 or 20 years ago. You telling them his business and how many women he slept with and, you know, all the stuff. You just, why are you doing that? Why are we doing this? Because we want to be looked at like the sheroes. We want to be looked at like we're better than the dad all the time. And like I told my ex-husband that was talking about kids in question, I say, all you got to do is come up. That's all you got to do is get a bag. And baby, you everybody's father. I encourage him. I give him nuggets. I help him. I am not his competitor. I'm his compliment. We was joking the other day. He say, we divorced then. Why you didn't get my name back? Why you didn't get my name back? I said, why are you trying to take your name back? I hold so much value. You should be glad that I'm still wearing your name. What you saying? You feel me? I respect him. I know how far to go because he's in a relationship. I don't make advances towards him and bring confusion in his house or amongst our children. Women, we need to stop playing. We know the stuff we sit up and do. You know he done moved on. But you feel like you baby mama, so when you text that phone, you sending pictures you shouldn't be sending. You doing things you shouldn't be doing to disrupt his household because you want to know secretly if you still got him. I want to know if he's still crazy about me because I'm baby mama. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you if you doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. Why you doing that? Why you causing hell in that man's house? Close your legs. He done moved on. Yeah, he gonna take it every time. He gonna take it. And then when he don't, and you feel like, oh, he's giving her faithfulness, he won't text me back. Now I'm finna expose him and tell her he was over here so day when you was looking for him. You whatever he told you, he lied. He was over here with me in my bed. We some clowns for real. Oh, don't get me started. My brothers told me we was hanging out at the gym. My brother said, he said, when a woman flaunts herself in front of me and throwing herself at me, he said, I figure it must not be worth nothing you trying to give it to me that easy for free. Don't tell me, minister. Listen, I always say to sisters, they don't want to listen to me, and that's fine. Baby, it's okay. I don't care, baby. They always say to me, we don't like that. They say to us, women that go over-sexualize themselves don't have nothing else to offer us. Because once they get us, they don't know how to keep us. Once they get a real man. Because it's going to take, one of them said, you got to have more than sex to keep me. No lies told, minister. We talking about a man of God. For all of y'all don't know who I'm talking to, Minister Castile. A man of God, full of the word, got himself together, got his own, fully grown, said no lies told. I need a woman with some substance, baby. I need a woman who specializes in giving me peace. I need a woman who done played them crackhead games back in her teenage years and 20s, and she over that now. She's intentional about what she wants. Okay? She not in the class with some of these little bust downs out here. I said, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm finna have some of them come on the show and talk about this because I want the women that's keeping themselves to be encouraged, though. It's all good. If you ain't left out, some of y'all just too sheltered. You know what I'm saying? I turn down dates all the time, guys. I'm not desperate for nothing. I know who I am. I ain't desperate for nothing. I listen to them, though. But I ain't going to say I ain't had some college course classes to get me to this place because I'll be lying to you. I ain't trying to make it look like I'm no better than nobody else, baby. I've been through the fire. I've been through the fire. So, since I've been through the fire and I've been through a bunch of hell, I learned a lot of things. And God knew that I was going to have to go through those things in order to be instrumental in bringing healing to these men's life. Because sometimes, let me tell you something, woman, your presence. You ain't got to open your mouth. When you write and you say you praying and you doing all that, your presence is comfort. But see, we'll mismanage that nurturing spirit when we thirsty and desperate. What's in you don't get to the table. Don't forget that. Don't forget that you're the glue, woman. Mama, mama's baby. You mama, that's your baby. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. It ain't never maybe. It's always his baby too. And you keep that in mind when you out here moving all crazy and making all these rash decisions to disrupt his life. I want you to remember that as his baby too. Okay? Y'all be blessed until next time, y'all. I got some stuff coming in June. Got some brothers gonna come on here and talk. You know, and I want to collab with some sisters, some single sisters too. So y'all can be free to ask questions to men. They can actually answer questions. And look, raw. Tell you like a T.I. is or not like an I is, as my granny say. This has been part 2 of the Fireside Chat. Y'all gonna hear more from your girl, I promise. I love y'all. Have a great evening.